trying to convince my wife to let me just not have a TV in our new place. I'm like, we don't need the
Okay.
TV. We should
All
just
right.
throw it away.
You made the segue for the personal question that I wanted to ask you.
Hmm.
So you said it. You said you had a wife.
Go
So
on.
how when you reached this point 4 years ago, were you married at that time, where you started to look at
Yeah.
the book collection? Okay. And what did your wife think about your decision to do this, the time that you were spending on it? What was her reaction, if I may?
You may. Absolutely. So the timeline was incredibly, I don't know, I thank God or the universe or the synchronicity or the mystical powers of the universe and the way it organizes, whatever. But we got married in about 2 or 3 months before the event, the Big C
Mm,
event began. And then all this event started happening, and I was obsessed listening to interviews and trying to get to the bottom of it. And I just said, and I'm very blessed and very lucky that she believed and trusted in my ability to reason things out. And so when I was saying, look, we gotta, I want to get these books. I think they're going to be I say it's going to be an investment. And because the
mhm,
price of some of the books that I've bought over the last 4 years have gone up, the one I
mhm.
just showed you, it's 10 times more if you take the upper limit of what people are trying to sell it for. And
Wow.
that's the case on quite a lot of these books I have. So I'm saying, so that was an angle. I'm like, hey, it's an investment. And then the other thing was when I started the channel and the YouTube, and she saw how much I loved reading and how passionately intense I was about this information and getting it out to people, and how much I loved the actual process of live streaming and interacting. Then she kind of said, this, she got on board and really supports that mission. I think she can see that it lights me up, and she can see that it is very much aligned with my values and my kind of sense of purpose in life. And so she's very understanding, and she just has a caveat that as long as I'm allowed to have my library in the house, as long as she has one whole room for her handbags. And I think that's a fair trade-off.
Aha. So she's a negotiator. That's good. That's good. I was just curious about that because, as we know, sadly, a lot of relationships did not survive the big C. And some are still in the process of disintegrating. I just heard from a lovely person that has been communicating with Alan for years and years. And it's sad to see long time relationships just crumble under the stresses, and primarily the fact that both partners did not see eye to eye about what was going on.
I,
And that's a
Absolutely.
huge thing. Yeah.
It's heartbreaking too. And I think one of the deliberate intentions of that whole operation was to do just that exact thing.
Mhm.
Because we know that the traditional institutions of marriage and monogamy have been under attack for a long, long time through a variety of mechanisms and programs. And this was another way to really drive home that wedge. And I talked to people as well who vehemently disagreed, and people went off and did things without the consent or the knowledge of their partners. And I'm just so blessed and grateful that we managed to remain on the same page. And I was doing the lion's share of the learning throughout, because I, I was doing a lot of bike riding at the time, because I had like a 40-minute bike ride to work and back. So every time I was on my bike, I had headphones in and I would listen to all manner of different speakers, and nothing added up. And so I'm just very lucky and very blessed that I could communicate that, and I have picked a wife who trusts in my sort of ability to discern, and also I think when I voiced what I'd learned and pointed out the holes and the gaps and the contradictions and the nonsensical things, she kind of said, "Yeah, you're right. That doesn't make sense."
Mhm.
And so she could start to see it as well. Once you can see it, you can't unsee it. And so I,
Right.
I very much helped get her to that point, because I was for all intents and purposes fast asleep. I was just a normie, no plans, no understanding of the big picture, how the world works,
Mhm.
nothing, until that happened. And then I started paying attention and trying to learn. And so she was kind of coming along that journey with me at the same time.